Welcome to turning a moment into a movement.
This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Oh Lord, just let it shine. This light of mine, this light of mine. Oh Lord, would you please just let it shine. Take the drama out of my life. Oh Lord, every night, the pain ain't right. I wake up at night, I never sleep. 26, 10, and 7, that's just me. Every day I need a little seed. I need a little fresh air, man, I need to breathe. All I know is trauma, all I know is tickets. All I know is no visit, all I know is a mission to get straight up out of prison. Lord have mercy for it. Lord have mercy on my people. Preacher Mary Washington and all my real. Lord have mercy with my people. I pray to God, we really need you. When I was down bad, when things weren't going right, every time I prayed at night, I put my hands up in my face. I said, Lord have mercy, little light of mine. Lord God, please let it shine. It's the drama that I live in my life. I swear to God, I was a bad guy every night. 10 toes down, salute. Everybody suffering, everybody who trying to make a way. Everybody looking for the sky, everybody looking for that piece of pie. In a law library, I know what that feel like. Hoping that somebody get active and involved in your situation. Man, pop your collar and pray. Cause Lord have mercy on my soul. And they make bad guy father get out soon. And the rest of those brothers who be mobbing to child each morning. Oh man, I ain't going to this afternoon. Man, I'ma miss dinner today. I got a couple noodles. Hey, you know what that feel like? Yeah, you know what it is. And if you a victim of a wrongful conviction, suffered and served by Ken Worthy, then I know that you know what that pain feel like. And your mama know what that pain feel like. Your father know what that pain feel like. With that life, let that little shine. Let that light shine, a little light of mine. Bad guy, Doughboy Week, all these great people in this great world of ours. 10 toes down, salute. I appreciate you, bad guy. I appreciate you, weak. I appreciate the tech. I appreciate everybody in the studio. We gonna pop off that LV, ooh-wee, cause that's what they be liking to see. But I hope you hear the missing when you see me fresh. Salute. Salute. You do good, bro?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Turning a Moment into a Movement. I am your host, J Love. We are so grateful that you joined us this evening. Whether you're watching live or catching the replay, we invite you to lean into this conversation, share the broadcast, and become part of a community that believes in truth, accountability, and justice. Thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness. I've been muted the whole time.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Hi, everyone. Let me start all over again. Hold on, Reverend Tia. I'm going
Okay,
to
go ahead.
do this. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Turning the Moment into a Movement. Good evening. I am your host, Jay Love, and we're so grateful that you joined us tonight. Whether you're watching live or catching the replay, we invite you to lean into this conversation, share the broadcast, and become part of the community that believes in accountability and justice.
All right. You muted yourself again.
I don't know how that
All
keeps
right.
happening.
I don't
That's
know
right.
either, but we need you.
Yes, I don't know how that keeps happening, but
We need
excuse
you,
the
Jay.
technical difficulties tonight.
Yes.
I wanted to tell everybody
Okay.
that Miss Diane, I don't know if you guys heard that, but Miss
Mhm.
Diane won't be with us tonight because of she has a family issue going on, but hopefully she's going to join us next week for part two of this conversation. And also I want to bring on Marcus. Unmute yourself,
Okay,
Marcus.
hey, what up, though?
Hey.
I done fell in love with the introduction song. I'm like, I got to find this joint.
Mhm.
Black everything.
Oh yeah. That's our hype song to get ready to come on. But yeah, welcome everybody. So we're gonna start with Reverend Tia, and then we're gonna end with you, Marcus. But Reverend Tia, introduce yourself. Tell everybody what it is you do, and why is this subject matter important to you this evening?
Well, what I do on a day-to-day basis, I'm always out here for the cause of justice. On I guess day to day, I am a psychologist and I work in the city of Detroit. Um, but more importantly, what is most important right now is exposing the truth about public records. And the reason why this is important is because it is affecting the community in so many different ways, and we don't know it. And the lack of knowledge causes us to get caught up in cases, wrongfully convicted, and over sentenced and involved in the justice systems that is not our justice. It's a justice for other people. It does not include us. And so it is important for us to know all the truths about all the different tactics that are being used to continue. What I say, what it is doing is continuing slavery under the guise of corrections. So I'm
Mm,
glad to be here tonight and expose the truth and continue to make people aware. The more people are aware, the more changes that can happen, and we can change lives and change our situations.
yes. Thank you, Reverend Tia. So,
Mhm.
Marcus, introduce yourself. And also, Marcus, tell everyone about your organization, everything that you do, and also why this topic matters to you.
I'm Marcus Kelly, founder and executive director of the Change Up Midnight Coalition. Of course, we chose the name Midnight because during the Underground Railroad, the nickname for the Underground Railroad in Detroit was Midnight. So everybody had to get to midnight to get to freedom. And we just we are reimagining what the Underground Railroad looks like today. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say modern day slavery versus chattel because slavery never really changed, just the name. So big ups for you, Reverend Tia, for pointing that out. What we do is we center healing, and we are a commitment to organizing, training, educating, and advocating for the full restoration and enfranchisement of impacted communities. As we see that we can't have any possible reform as long as the genesis of our system is built on slavery. We have to first take slavery out of Michigan's Constitution, which is what we are advocating for, in order to reform anything that we are fighting against today, which because all policies came from that language up under Article 1, subsection 9, making it legal to enslave someone if you can convict them of a crime. Back then they called it black code, today we call it mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how can they find you, Marcus, and find your organization?
Well, you can find us at thechangeup.net, all one word. You can email my personal Marcus Kelly 79 at gmail.com, or you can call at 947-257-9075.
All right. And Reverend Tia, if people wanted to seek you out at the Choice Zone.
Yes, I do. I do a lot of individual consultations. Been helping people start up their own adult foster care homes and transitional housing, and lately, and so if you are interested in any of these things and or want any life coaching skills, you can reach me at the Choice Zone, Tia Taylor at thechoicezone.com. The website is thechoicezone.com, and I would be happy to assist.
Well, I'll
Yes.
definitely be tapping in.
Okay.
You should have never said that.
Yes. You know
Yeah.
what, Jay? I'm so glad we started like this because I was going to ask Marcus about any legislation to change that amendment, because that amendment was ratified in 1865,
Mhm.
which means
um,
they changed it in order to create and continue slavery. And a lot of times
Yes.
people don't understand the timeline of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so is there I know of one I want to say he's out of Georgia who's been spearheading the change from a government level, that change it so that it is just illegal, point blank. Do you know which legislators in Michigan are joining on that to have that changed?
So hold on, Rabbiteer. Hold on,
Okay.
Mark. Because this is
I
Marcus'
jumped the
special.
gun. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm
you
sorry.
did, Rabbiteer. You
It's
jumped the
public
gun.
records
Marcus.
now, J Love. It is public records.
Okay,
This
because
topic
you
is
know what,
public
Jay?
record.
No,
It's been
because we're
making me
going to have a
mad.
whole
It's been making me
conversation.
mad.
Yeah, Marcus is going to have a whole conversation because he got a special project going on, and I want him.
Okay. I
And it's
digress
dealing
then.
with that. So we're going to get to
Okay.
that. Before we
Okay.
get
Thank you
started, though,
so
I
much.
do want to honor Breonna Taylor. So
Yes.
tonight, we're going to pause and honor the life of Breonna Taylor, a young woman whose life was taken far too soon on March the 13th, 2020. Breonna was more than a headline. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a dedicated EMT who cared for others during some of their most vulnerable moments. Her name became a rallying cry across the country because of her death forced the nation to confront painful questions about accountability in policing and the value placed on Black lives. While time has passed, the call for justice and meaningful reforms continue. We remember Breonna Taylor not only in grief, but in commitment to keep speaking her name, to keep demanding transparency, and to keep pushing the world where no family has to endure this kind of injustice again. Say her name, Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
And I have a video I want to play right quick, you guys.
If you ain't got a Brianna or Brianna,
she's the star of the show for the family, basically, and she just kept everybody going.
Just being around family gave her a lot of joy. She loved to be around family.
happy birthday to you. Happy
She was always the one who was like, let's have a family game night. Let's all get together.
She's very girly. She's such a diva.
Her mother said, she'd be like, Brianna, didn't you just get an outfit? And Brianna would say like, oh yeah, but that one's already been in pictures. Like, I can't wear that one again.
I'm strong, intelligent, beautiful black young woman who has grown so much.
She loved to set these goals for herself, no matter what it was. You wouldn't be able to tell her nothing.
When I walk across that stage and get my diploma handed to me, I won't be thinking this is the end, rather more like this is only the beginning. I will now be starting my journey to the adult life.
Yeah, so continue to rest, Brianna. So let's start off with this one question, and I want, you Revertia or Marcus, whoever can start. Why is documentation so important when fighting injustice?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Because you can't hide from truth. Like, I think when you're talking about hearsay versus factual evidence is undeniably, even though this system that they created, they can still look at evidence straight in the face and still make it twerk it to make it look like what they needed to be. But when we're talking about sort of like if we talking about a constitutional amendment to something, and we say, well, we have, and I'm giving an example, we have slavery in Michigan's constitution. They said, no, it's been abolished. And you can go to the Constitution, bring it out and show where it says except for punishment for a crime. If that makes sense.
Ramatilla.
Yes, and you know what the other thing is that when you write it down, when it's written, when anything is written, um, it makes them have to prove. So when you have documentation, and when you have documentation, it's supposed to preserve truth. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to provide evidence. It's supposed to create accountability. That's what documentation is supposed to do. All of that is supposed to happen. And so what has happened though is when things are not documented or not documented properly, then all of that can be changed around. Then truth, you know, we can see now in today's society that the truth is people prefer. I'm just gonna say people prefer the lie over the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go with the lie.
Yeah.
especially
You
if they
know,
benefit
when
from it.
we go ahead, Marcus.
Nah, I'm just piggybacking on what you said. I'm just saying, especially when they benefit from that lie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Even today, when you think about all what we were talking about before the election, talking about Project 2025 and everything, and even though there was evidence, and even though it was documented evidence, and we had a whole document of 900 some pages, and people preferred the lie. They preferred what was told to them over the truth. And it's surprising that how many times we come across people will go with the narrative of what has been said instead of digging in and finding out what's the real deal, what's the reality that's happening. And I don't know, in some aspects I just believe that there is a mass consciousness where people just follow the masses and they go with it. They get hooked into the to that narrative, and they just let it flow out of their mouth. And so when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to wrongfully convicted people, a lot of times, and I know Jay can testify to this, and you too, people will say, well, the person must have did something.
I done had whole newspaper articles where they had people chiming in on it saying, well, he must have not, he might have been innocent of this one, but he may have been guilty of something. So he's there, you know, and it's just like once you get that label criminal conviction courts or something attached to you, it's like you are deserving of all things inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't matter how much truth you put in front of them that this person is innocent. Um, and they can have documented proof and still hide it from you. We call that Brady violation, Brady material.
Mm-hmm.
But they can have all things that would exonerate you, but because of the game that the particular injustice system creates, they can hide it from you and not provide that to you, and then make you fight your way back out of prison, which might take 10, 20, 30 years. By that time, your best years is gone.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting to say the least, because we are talking about we're making people raise their hand up under oath to a Bible. But people only quote Bible scriptures when it benefits them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that part is where I'm always questioning somebody when they come to me with the Bible and say, "Oh, do you believe?" You know, man, I'm like, "Wait, do you believe?" You know what I'm saying? Because what is this really about? You know,
Right.
and it's all because of the monetary incentive to incarcerate with the 13th Amendment, quote unquote, also with Article 1, subsection 9 of Michigan's Constitution.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, I'm telling you, this area right here is hot for me. It really is. And it's because when you look within our United States and within the justice system and the governments and the municipalities of the states, each state, and how they get to change and vote on certain issues. So I don't know if you heard or if people understand that in Tennessee now they're trying to make it so that the youth who age out of foster care automatically go to detentions.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that's what they're doing to, for lack of better words, quote unquote, undocumented people. They just pile them up in prison and force labor out of them. But
there have been so many people who have come out of foster care. You know, they've already had a hard time coming out of foster care, but there's been many who have been very successful, who've gone on to college, who have been assets to their community, and yet they want to just take these people, and as soon as they age out, and all I saw when I saw that was they're trying to further the advancement of slavery, because that's what this justice system is.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Jay. And it's just to think about one thing that they don't show is America. You know, and I could just say, matter of fact, we're gonna just bring it to Michigan. In Michigan, one thing about public records is the thing, you know, when nobody tells us, and I'm talking about somebody who pleads guilty, not people that are found guilty, but somebody who just plead guilty. 98% of our convictions in Michigan is by plea. You know, they trump a bunch of charges, or you just plead to something so we can incarcerate you and enslave. But what they're not telling people is that a guilty plea is, or anything jurisprudence is tied to a status. So, so if you plead guilty, you pleading guilty to a status, meaning slavery, and agreeing to involuntary servitude. No, you know what I'm saying? So I would say, you know what I'm saying? So with that being supposed to be public records, that's being hidden from people because the judge is not telling them, I would take your plea, but do you know that you are agreeing? You know, they ask you, did anybody tell you to plead guilty? Do you know that you can serve this time? They're not saying, did you know that you are agreeing to be a slave and have forced labor? They're not, they don't tell us that. So those are public records that they're not providing. But here's the another part of that we overlook. If that's not being provided to you, then at sentencing or when you plead guilty, then your plea cannot be knowingly and intelligently pled, because that is something that they left out. I'm pretty sure if somebody said that you are agreeing to be a slave and have forced labor, I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't plead guilty.
Right.
But that is the thing of public records that is also being denied from us.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, people should understand that as soon as this encounter takes place, you need to be focused on attaining records. Mm-hmm. If that encounter leads to you going to jail, you need to start making records, and you need to start focus on attaining records. I think we get so caught up in the moment that we don't be active about what we need to be doing from the time of that encounter. Go ahead, Marcus.
What you just said, it just moved something in me. Because you right there, right? You know, I'm always down for a good fight. So what you're saying is absolutely true. The problem with that is, it's just like I said before, in the communities. But when you are talking about someone facing incarceration that's impoverished, right? We're talking about if you starve a person, like when they put you in jail, got a whole bond that you cannot afford, so you actually stuck in here, so you're guilty and still proving innocent at this point. They starve you. Mm-hmm. What happens when you starve a community? They become a slave to whoever feed them. Mm-hmm. So now this lawyer comes along who the court may have appointed, and he's just trying to get your case going, and he's trying to get you a plea bargain at this point, right? Because he don't got enough money to absolutely fully fight your case to go get documents and stuff. You're not really getting paid that much money. He's gonna get paid if you. He's gonna get paid whether you lose or win. He's gonna get the same $1,200, $1,300. So now we're talking about a system that preys on the impoverished community. We all know the importance of public records and records that can prove your guilt, but also records that can prove your innocence. But it all boils down to this. If you stuck in jail because you can't afford to get out, you have a community that don't really understand the legal procedure, and have been indoctrinated or had a brain serenaded with he's incarcerated, so he must be guilty because you can't afford to get out. Then we're talking about having a hard time obtaining records. I've been in prison, and I know many people that have been in prison for 10, 20 years and have never been able to get people on the outside to get out there and go get those records for them. Because as you're sitting in jail, somebody else's life is still going on. So, and they give you so much of a fight to get those records, they make it so hard that it'd be years that goes by before you can even get them. And then when they get them, here's the disgusting part about it. Once you get that record and you prove your innocence, all the prosecutor got to do is say, oops, my bad. And then they release you, give you a couple dollars if you get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight for that too. And nothing happens to them. They're not prosecuted. It's like they got this blanketed protection that they can fuck your life up, excuse my language, that they can destroy your life, and by a domino effect, your family, your child, they can destroy everything around you because they didn't turn those papers over intentionally, which we call Brady versus Maryland, the Brady violation. But they don't get prosecuted after they do that. And if they did get sued, my money and your money or any taxpayer's money pay for it, so they don't care. They'll find a new nigga next year and do the same thing.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know the thing about it is if there is a consequence where they are personally and economically affected and impacted, if there's a consequence that they could also be prosecuted, then, you know, I mean, it's even in my profession, if you you know, go against one of the ethics, you know, although I've seen people in high places go against it and nothing happens, but if I do it, if I'm biased to an individual, give them a diagnosis that just because I'm thinking about who they are and not really the measurement that I'm looking at, I could be sued. I could have my license taken. You know, I could be on the list where you just can't practice anymore. Social workers can, all social workers go through it. Anybody clinical, psychologists, we go through that, and if we get on that list, you cannot practice. No matter how long you went to school, no matter how many classes or how much after your graduation, the classes you've taken later, it does not matter. But yet, in our justice system, they have free range.
Mm-hmm. Police can lie. They can lie to you, and nothing will happen. So I think it was this week or last week, there was another exoneration, and this gentleman, I can't recall his name at the moment, but he was incarcerated 27 years for a crime he didn't do. And guess who the culprit was again? Barbara Simon, a name that we done heard throughout the years being on this platform. Barbara Simon. And you would think with all these exonerations, Barbara Simon would be somewhere locked up because the citizens of Michigan have paid millions for her wrongful convictions, for what she did to cause wrongful convictions, right? Yet there's nothing. There's no accountability. There's nothing. It's just another conversation. Next week, I'm going to make sure I have Mark Craighead on here so we can really go into the Barbara Simon story. But this lady has, heard her name a million times. So I had to make a post like, hey, that's this lady not locked up. We done heard her name. But she was promoted. She even worked in the AG office as an investigator. Like, this lady just been living her life. I ain't even seen the picture of her. I wouldn't know if she stood right next to what she looked like. But if this was you, Marcus, or you, Revite, or even myself, and we lied, we'll be somewhere in somebody's cell or on somebody's paper.
They tell you that if you purge yourself under oath, you can spend this. I'm gonna tell you. So what that did with that young brother out of 27. Okay, and I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna give you two parts of it. That brother out of the 27 years he spent, the state made, or the wealthy elite who created this system made a little over $1.8 million from him being incarcerated, on top of the corporations that's invested in prison, to where he was only getting paid maybe $20 a month for working, saved millions of dollars. So we talking about, and I'm just guesstimating that, you know what I'm saying, it's about, wrapped up with just him, they probably made about $5 million. So with a wrongful conviction, and they get it overturned 27 years, they hadn't made that money so many times that we can give you $1 million or something like that and go about your business. I'd have made 5-6 times that, you know what I'm saying, with you being in there. So that kind of punitive damage don't stop them from continuing to send people to the joint wrongfully, right? Because they get rewarded for those things. Reason why is because this whole criminal injustice system was set up and designed for slavery. It was just a new sexy name. Instead of calling it slavery, instead of calling it this, we're gonna call it the justice system. But the Constitution had never included Black people, or never included poor people in general. So the world runs off of poverty. You know what I'm saying? Like, the impoverished community is what keeps this world running, because we are the biggest consumers, right? So if we can bust up families, if we can attack the education system and children can't read at a certain level by the 3rd grade, if we can't, you know what I'm saying, if we squeeze them out with work, we raise the prices of gas, we raise the prices of food, we, you know what I'm saying, forcing them into poverty, then we have consumers. You know what I'm saying? So in the bottom line is what I'm coming to is a reason why Michigan is the top state in the United States of America with wrongful convictions. And that reason being that they are allowed to hide exculpatory evidence, which is documents, which is written documents and written testimonials and videos that actually can prove your innocence. And they can hold it for so many years and so long and not be prosecuted, because they are doing the job of the elite. Let's get money out of these people. That's all we really need. They don't give a damn about if you're guilty or not. It's about who can tell the best story. Mm-hmm. So to them, it's a game. Like, I just watched a judge in Pontiac, Michigan, who was recorded saying all kind of racist stuff about Black people, calling us lazy, about gay people, saying they're this, that, and the third, called herself a newfound racist. All these things is in her own words. Yet, out of all the people lives she damaged and sent to prison, she was allowed to retire with her pension. And they didn't call any case back that she sat on, that we clearly see that she was biased.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. And it seemed like
evidence, public records.
Yeah.
It seemed like it seemed like, the people in power would say, hey, she said she was racist. We need to go through her records and see if she, through her cases, see if she did. But no. And then somebody else who probably in there because of those tactics, her racist demeanor, because you can't say that if you call yourself a new racist, that you sat on that being a judge, and you was unbiased. Everything you did was biased because you said you just proclaimed the title of a new racist, whatever that means. And so but people are probably still sitting there, and nobody's not going to say nothing unless you or whoever, family members or whatever, go and dig into it for themselves.
And that part is where I say that we get boxed in at, because if somebody out here don't know how to address that and how to raise that up, or didn't see it, or, you know what I'm saying, and sometimes people in prison. In fact, when my case came on the news when I was in prison, it was about being wrongfully convicted. I didn't even know until I just happened to came from on a prison yard. Somebody like, man, your case was all over the news. And I'm like, what? It was around the Mike Ferguson case, because the name of the detective that got fired on my case was Mark Ferguson. So it came on the news as Pontiac has his own Ferguson issues. And then my case ended up coming up. I'm like, damn. And of course, years and years went by me fighting, trying to get it overturned, still haven't. But the bottom line is this: you got two things, right? You have the elite being protected by certain systems in certain cases. You have your corrections unions, you have your elected officials. To answer your question, Reverend Tia, to be completely honest with you, a lot of people don't want to remove slavery out of Michigan's constitution. They want to keep involuntary servitude in there because they are invested in prison. And a lot of them people, those prison workers, those prison unions and stuff like that, so they fund a lot of their campaigns. And these things are public records. Even the fact that a lot of our elected officials are invested in prison stock, those are public records. Our teachers unions are asking the teacher unions are asking them not to use our educational funds to invest in private prisons, which they are doing right now. These are all public records, right? But nobody's talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's because it's they kicking out billions and billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, in industry from forced labor. But again, public document, you can actually research these things. You can look at it dead in his face, and guess what? People are slow to move or silent on it or find something else to argue about. They might talk about expungements and things like that. That doesn't mean ban the box. All these things don't mean nothing. Again, public records, but it means nothing because at the end of the day, like what I just went through not too long ago, all the ban the box and all those things do is say you have to give Marcus an interview. You can't just tell him he can't move in these apartments. You have to give him an interview. But when you get an interview, then you can tell them, yeah, you can't move over here. So it's really not a protection for people trying to transition back into society. And that is because the biggest thing that nobody actually tackled, again, public records, is the Dred Scott ruling, which is still law today. Nobody challenged that because the Dred Scott case makes it possible for somebody to discriminate against you when it comes to housing, education, jobs, and all those things. It's just they changed the word to criminal record.
Yeah.
So you touched on something, Marcus. I want to talk. when in Michigan, I remember when the governor was first running, she talked about reform. She talked about, and people were behind her, and she did these town hall meetings. And they did them all over the state because I was going to different ones here, there, everywhere. And they talked about how they was going to reform Michigan, right? And then Michigan had the House and the Senate, right?
Trifecta.
And they was fighting on good time. They had that. They had a few things. We were talking about qualified immunity. And also qualified immunity was also brought up and was big at that point, and because of the Oxford shooting, and all these people were getting qualified immunity. Nobody's being held accountable for what happened at this school, right? So you would think with all this conversation going on, because it's cool and trendy, that something was going to happen, right? Nothing happened.
Yeah, and the reason
why talking points, it was trending at the time, and I remember because Robert Tia, we had people coming on here for, for second chances, and they were talking about it, and good time. We had the good time people here, and they were all over the state of Michigan trying to get this, on the ballot, and everything they tried to do to get it, in Michigan, nothing.
Mm.
Right. Oh
and
yeah,
it's
crime
because
pays.
I'm gonna tell you. Listen, this is the funny part about it. So when I see people like Big Gretch, and they give her hour sign coats and Kelly coats and Cartier frames and calling her Big Gretch and fix the damn roads. You cannot really fix roads and spend money and fix roads when you're locking people up out of the communities where they at and sending them up north into these rural areas. So when census come, the money from that person has been taken out of the community and given to the area where he's incarcerated at. It's called gerrymandering. Yep. So that's the money. So that's why your damn roads can't get fixed, because you're talking to people and you're locking them up in rural areas. You fixing those roads up. You go down there by Jackson, you know what I'm saying? That rural area, them roads is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But come back into my community and I got to get a new tire every other day. But you know what I'm saying? But that's number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? She don't want to go against the people that's Heidi Washington is her girl. They are really cool. And Heidi Washington been over the prisons for years, for decades, right? The Keith Barbers of the world been hired by Heidi Washington. So it ain't like she don't know what's going on in the criminal injustice system. It's like she can't say that she don't know the people's like the Crystal Clark cases, the Marcus Kelly's cases, the and so on and so forth, or the wrongfully accused and exoneration. It ain't like she don't know. The problem is, do you give a fuck?
Right. Right. That part.
She don't care. All she care about is money. And the problem what I have with people like us that look like us, and I hate to say it for anybody who might take offense to what I'm going to say, if the shoe fit wears, I still love you. But we always looking for the great white hope. And as long as you can throw some kibbles and bits in my pocket, you know what I'm saying, I dance to your tune. That's where the word snitch come from. People were snitching on slaves that was trying to break out of slavery. Oh no, I gotta go tell master you trying to break away. We got it good here. You know what I'm saying? And they go telling on people, for extra apple or something, right? But you know what I'm saying? So we always find ourselves in them situations to where we all, you know what I'm saying, we dance for somebody like Gretchen Whitmer. She utilize our pictures, you know what I'm saying, as sort of like how Trump used when he got black people in there. I know a lot of black people, they voted for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your prop. So I'm not taking pictures with you because I'm not your prop. You ain't did nothing for black people. You ain't did nothing for formerly incarcerated people. You ain't did nothing for Crystal Clark, and you know what's happening to Crystal Clark. So you know what I'm saying? So when I see people taking up and with these flyers and dancing with her, I got to look at you. Dude, can I stand next to you and trust that you ain't going to stab me too? Because I don't know who you are. Is you bootlicking or whatever the case may be, but it ain't nothing to change up Midnight Coalition stand for. And number two is another important piece, right? Is that, you know what? I'm the guy wild up. Y'all go ahead and go. I just kind of.
So let me say something, Marcus. I'm trying to be quiet over here, but you done hit it. Something.
Y'all done struck it out.
You done hit something. You know, when we talk about documentation and everything, Crystal had documentation, years of documentation. From 20 something is Crystal calling me right now. From 2011, 2010 to now. Documentation. Even lab tests for MDOC said mode, right? But it was so much better to paint her as a liar, as a person who was making it up. Had people in there talking about she's eating the mold,
right?
She's sticking it in her own ears, like all of this crazy stuff instead of fixing the problem, right? Yeah. So while you're like deflecting and minimizing and doing all of this stuff, even saying that we even like exaggerating, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are getting sick. People are dying. I remember the first person that we, even when we got started, was um, Teresa Dunlap, mode in her chemo part. I thought this before I even met Crystal. I thought that was the most horrific thing I could hear, that somebody had mold growing out of their chemo port, right? And then I met Crystal, right? Teresa Dunlap died. Like when this mold, she was doing good. Like I had talked to so many people during that time before Teresa Dunlap, and they were telling us like how she was had cancer, but she was good. You know what I'm saying? She was doing stuff. She was vibrant. Then that mold growing in her chemo port, and they found that mold, and it just took her on out of here, right? Then we had Jennifer Wallace. Jennifer Wallace got a heart valve and stuff in her chest, and when she gets there, didn't take care of her. She had an infection in her heart in the valve, right? Didn't take care of her. In 15 days, when her mother started inquiring about how she was looking, she was gone, right? And so on, so on. We can name all the names. We have Rebecca Trevo on here who lost her whole eye, right? And we got documentation, the aspergillus, you know, in the lungs, in her eye, it didn't matter because people, like Reverend Tia said, rather believe a lie than believe the truth. It's easier. So we have people walking out of Huron Valley. They're talking about how great it is and the programs it is and this and that, and she's lying and this can happen, that can happen. We don't even want it to close. We ready for it to stay and all this craziness when people are literally losing their lives in a toxic hell.
Now, I'm gonna just say this.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like they got Stockholm syndrome or something. It's like
no, it ain't Stockholm syndrome, Jay.
They don't want. They don't want. They don't want to impact the system with a negative image because they want the money to continue. And see, at the crux of this whole thing, like you said, Marcus, is the money. It's the money. It's the money that they're getting. And see, here's the deal. We vote in politicians. We don't always look at where their money's coming from. Even though, like you said, it's what? Public record, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to start highlighting where they're getting their monies. We need to change that because, and here's the problem. And, you know, we call some of these people magicals because they may look like us, but they are a wolf in sheep's clothing. They will, and so they want to be economically, they want to be like them. And our people, we need to stop wanting to be like other people. We need to, like you said, we're waiting on the great white hope. We're waiting on somebody to come and save us. You are the answer. You are the answer for you first. But we need to be accountable to ourselves first. We need to be accountable to our community. We need to do what's right for our community. We need to be teaching our children early on about the system. This is why we don't get caught up in this system because it benefits people, elite people. This is why, you know, when we start pulling kids out of schools and having our own schools.
Yeah.
When we start having our own food. When we start having our own health care. There's things we need to do. And yes, it's going to take, because we're so used to it. We have a habitual way of living and being that has been counted on in this system that has given us a falsehood of we got you, we're going to take care of you. We got all these other people coming all to the United States from all over the world. Why? Because they want an opportunity. We've been here for how long?
And we ain't got
and then you have all these people. Yeah, all these people who are in high positions getting monies from places that they should not be getting money from. And my thing is, if you are invested in the prison system, you are the problem. If you have investments in war, you are the problem. And the blood is on your hands. And the death from the mold, that's on you. That's on you too. You are not by any means not guilty in our eyes.
I'm gonna tell you though, Rev, for somebody to have a, you know what I'm saying, because what right now you indicting the conscience of people who have a conscience. But when you're talking about people who worship money over human rights, then no call to action is going to make them change that. No. They're only going to always see you as property, right? And now it's no longer a black and white thing unless you go in the courtroom. It's really a classism thing at this point, right? But the one thing that I always find myself having to talk to people about is both parties. And I had to learn this. I learned this recently when I realized we just had a whole trifecta and couldn't get anything criminal justice reform passed. We couldn't get any support in our black and brown communities done. And you know what I mean? And one thing I really learned is the biggest trick that they could have did for, and I'm just going to speak to us as black people, the biggest trick they could have did for us is make us believe that we are free because we get to choose our own master, whether Democrat or Republican. But the problem is, no matter which master we choose, whether Democrat or Republican, we are still slaves. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, because if we was actually free, then why do they get to tell us when and where we can use our voice? Why do they get to tell women what you can and can't do with your body? You know what I'm saying? Why, you know what I'm saying? Or where we can learn our education, where our kids can go to school at. Why do they have to tell us or get to tell us those things? Or if you are deserving of health care or not? You know what I'm saying? Or if Crystal Clark is eating mold or not. You know what I'm saying? When you see people clearly dying, you know what I'm saying? So when I really think about the life of our party now and what it's actually showing us, it's showing us now that we need to start building our own table. Because nobody is coming to save us. Clearly, it wasn't the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, it's not Republicans, right? Because both parties, well, no matter what policy they pass, everybody has benefited off civil rights except for us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Our blood, sweat, and tears. It was slaves and indigenous people forced labor that built Pontiac. They never talk about that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We had slaves in Pontiac, Michigan that we don't talk about. It was no slaves enough. It was. And it's still showing it through the prison system. All of these are public records. So, again, if we go back and we look at the history of what we voted, who we voted for, what they thing was with Governor Gretchen Whitmer went around and stated, Dana Nessel, I'm not going to appeal any cases when they get overturned by the feds, and yet she appealed my case 3 times and multiple other people. Nobody has actually done exactly what they said they're going to do, especially when it comes to black, brown, and impoverished people.
Right.
That's right. That's
what
right.
Is that? You said the 2 different masters, and it made me think about the Audre Lorde quote, "The master's tools would never dismantle the master's house." Like, we want to keep going to this one and that one, searching for our freedom. And our freedom is not with either one. Freedom is within yourself, right? You have to understand that first. These people are, you know, just because they're not in power right now, don't mean that they're like the answer to. Because we wouldn't be half of the stuff, the mass incarceration. Come on now, where that came from the Democrat.
Yeah,
the crime bill. Who was that?
Yeah, Biden and the NAACP and everybody signed on to it. Our own people helped that. But you know what I'm saying? And it was just so sexy. We're gonna lock these kids up, you know, until it's your own child. Same thing to people that voted for Trump. Yeah, let's get these undocumented out until it was their wives and husbands and their children. You know what I'm saying? So unless it don't affect you walking through your doorstep, you don't give a damn what happens to people until it happens to you. The issue with our alleged freedom is this. Like what you just said, Reverend Tia, when we still depend on the government for food, for housing, for clothing, what does that make us? A slave to the person that's feeding us.
Yeah.
Now, if they cut that food off, you're going to starve. But they put us in a position to where you can't get up, because the only way they can keep you enslaved is by keeping you in debt. And
That's
then
right.
I'm saying, when you're in debt, you're in survival mode. If they can keep a community in debt, you got crime. And if the only they can create crime, then they got slave catchers. It's like fishing. You can just throw the fishing net into the pool and you're gonna pull a fish out no matter what. And you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, and you're gonna put it in your bucket and you're gonna eat it later. You know what I'm saying? You are either at the table or you own the menu.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Patrice said, wasn't so interesting is that those who benefit most from our struggles don't stand in solidarity.
That's a
with
fact.
us at all.
That's a fact. But the part that I find disheartening, I'm just not even gonna say disheartening. When you operate out of a place of love and care and dignity and respect for all, no matter what, as Black people, we can't throw people away.
Right.
Because our freedom is dependent on the freedom of all of us.
That's right.
And that's the sad part about it, because if you might meet a poor white person or a poor Mexican person or or Jewish or Arab, and they don't have those kind of struggles that we have. So they fights is different, and they don't really recognize that we still have people buried at the bottom of the ocean. We still are being oppressed and murdered on our own soil. We can't go nowhere in the world without being oppressed, especially Black women. So it's like,
come on now,
you ask us to fight, everybody else fight, and yet I'm scared for my own son to get in the car and drive away because I don't know if he's gonna make it home tonight.
That's right. That's right.
I wanted to say something, Marcus. I would cover. Hold on a minute.
No, go ahead.
Especially Black women. And this week I asked the question, why doesn't Black women voices matter, right? And so people just took it as incarcerated voices, right? But I'm watching something and I play out in real time on social media what's going on in Ann Arbor and with Black women speaking up, and people are like taking away their voices, like even in their grief, they're grieving, right? And they're hurting and they're reaching out and they're trying to be in community. And there's people that want to, take over the narrative and ask them questions where they won't even let them grieve. It's like, what the hell? These Black women are coming together trying to grieve and make sense of something that hurt them. And you would not ever understand because you're not in Black skin and never will be in Black skin. But you want to change the narrative. And even with the Crystal Clark thing, how people are coming up that don't look like her, don't particularly, in their mind, don't have her issue. It's not affecting me. So it's not important to them. So they're going to create a whole nother narrative. Meanwhile, there's people that don't look like Crystal also that's sick, right? But it's not important to you because that's not your thing. And so, again, Black women voices are being silent because somebody else want to create another narrative. And so, and I know this is off subject, but Marcus, you brought it up. So when we're talking about this, when we focus on this, we have to understand who we are as people and be able to speak our truth.
Yeah.
So, and we have so many of us that look like us that make that hard. So it's counting on us to be in our truth and counting on us to understand who we are.
Yeah, because they constantly, go ahead.
Go ahead, Reverend Tia.
Oh, because I'm just saying they constantly benefit on the struggle. They're benefiting on the narrative. They benefit on, when I say the storyline, and we live in a society right now where that storyline matters and how many likes and views you get, because so you can be at the center. And I'm going to say this because this is what we are really dealing with at the essence of all of this is the low self-esteem of a people that constantly compare themselves to another people and are constantly looking at how they pair with the other person, which is horrible, that you have to live life, and even as a young girl being taught, you got to be better. You got to always be better because you're not going to get the top jobs unless you have to be excelled twice as well. You have to outshine. Why? Because I want you to be able to sustain yourself in this world. And then you have our other sisters that are constantly comparing themselves, and because of their own low self-esteem, then they decide, I can do this better. I can tell the story better. I can be let me take the lead. I've seen them come in and try to take over whole campaigns because they in themselves, because of their own, having opportunity after opportunity after opportunity and nothing to hold them back, no challenges or barriers. They can go ahead and say, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do it better. And I'm rooting for you. But they can't get behind the sister that's already in charge or the campaign that's already going. They have to be in the limelight. And I know they're not the only ones. I'm just saying that is a low self-esteem issue because they are not happy with who they are right now. And so they're always looking for something else to try to prove who they are, to try to prove to be more in the limelight. And I know they're not the only ones because I'm telling people all over, everywhere, all the time now, be careful about that. Trying to always be in the limelight, thinking you got something to say all the time. Everybody don't want to hear you all the time talking about nothing, not doing anything. In fact, I'm not going to say not doing anything. A lot of times they're doing things that are superficial. If you're writing on behalf of somebody who is wrongfully convicted and you are lying in what you are writing, you are a disservice. And we need to really look at those kinds of things. So I'm telling you, we have to really be honest. And not too long ago, this is the last point, and that is, stop listening to people say, well, this happens in all prisons. We shouldn't be okay with that. Well, there's mold in all prisons. Somebody say that recently. And I wanted to fight. Because that is not okay. So that's okay. Because it's all over the country, that's okay.
It's not okay for
us to accept it. Yeah.
It should be okay anywhere. We normalize hate. Instead of saying, hey, this is wrong. This person is suffering. These people are suffering. Just because when you are a property of the state, you should be more than just dollars they make. But it's all about the dollars they're making. But anyway, let's get back to the evidence. Because I see Marcus' face as soon as I said property of the state.
Government control over women's bodies is a perfect example of property of the state or just being enslaved still. But go ahead.
Still.
Because slaves was the first thing on Wall Street, right? They was the first commodity being traded. And now they still
We are the stock.
We are the stock.
Yeah.
I think when we talking about documents, and documents being manipulated to tell a different story, we talk about the question, what I'm saying, what we actually see in real time is they was trying to get rid of the documents of slavery. So because if our children don't know where we came from, then you don't know how you're not going to repeat that. And history is beginning to repeat itself right now. You know, again, David Duke, which is documented evidence. In his speech, he said, if you want to control generations of people, control the education. Now we can see there's attack on our education. So, but when we're talking about a criminal injustice system, we're talking about police officers, what they consider to be today. They you know, so they're able to get on a stand, lie, or go to get an affidavit for a search or an arrest warrant. They have to go give out a sworn testimony to the judge, the magistrate. And they say, well, Marcus Kelly did this on this day, that day, and we seen him do it, and whatever. So when those things get pointed out, such as what they did in my case, and they try to remove things, so I couldn't challenge the search warrant with a Frank's hearing. A Frank's hearing is where you get to challenge the affidavit, the affiant of a search warrant. So that is how they end up getting past me, you know what I'm saying? And me not knowing the legal system at the time, I didn't understand it until later when I was already incarcerated that, you know what I'm saying, here it is. And I was asking my attorney then, you know, could you challenge him? This guy lying. We know he lying. But then it came out that he actually was lying when we seen that although he was being investigated for lying in other affidavits on my case, they still allowed him to testify against me and never gave me that information. So I didn't get any of those things until 3 years later while I was in prison already. But even with documentations of him lying, they still fought tooth and nail to keep me incarcerated. And that's the part that to me is disheartening when you see what is being glorified about the criminal legal system, why they already serenaded our brains growing up and with we need police officers, we need this legal system, let's just take it to court. So we all just believe to call the police and do this, and this is a marketing tool to help feed they system, because you know what I'm saying, and they got a good marketing center, they got a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, to keep them beds filled. Just take it for instance, when they were shutting the prison down in Ojibwe up north. When they shut that prison down, that community protest because that was their jobs. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to shut down the women's prison because that community would protest because that's their jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't about the people. We are just property to them.
Yeah.
And they'll go in there, work in that mode and be sick.
We are, you know what I mean? So people will live in those conditions as long as you can give them a piece of chicken, or let me get some dope today, or feel it so I can feel important on the yard that I can get things for you. But at the end of the day, I'm allowing myself to die and suffer just so I can look good. And that's really what's happening. I can show massa that I can crap my whip on my own people to show that I'm not like them. So people begin to otherize you in their own mind, you know what I'm saying, not even realizing that you waking up in the same shit that I am too. You know what I'm saying? So once they done with you, they'll find a new NIGGA next year.
Right. But that's because we have normalized our own demise.
Yeah.
We can't visualize or think there's incarceration or life without incarceration. What did that look like? We cannot reimagine what the criminal justice would look like, because we also believe in slavery. When someone can say, hey, well, if he ain't do that, you did something, that means you really believe in slavery.
Right.
Because you can't, with all the documentation and videos, and even when it wasn't, even before the videos, all the word of mouth, all the stories that you done heard throughout generations and generations, while Black mothers was always telling their sons about, hey, when you out here driving your cars and, you know, you gave the speech to your kids and all this stuff, we still, even through all of that, we still believe in slavery. And so if we can't get past slavery, if we can't imagine life without slavery, it feeds the system to say, hey, you want more. You want more, so I can lie to you and put this fake report in and sign your name to it and do whatever and make you the new slave and give you a new number and sit you up here 20, 30 years before somebody figure it out. So we have to get over the slave within.
Look at the camera for a minute. Just take a minute, pause, and I just want you to look at each other in the camera and just take in that beautiful black skin you see. Take in the hair, the facial feature, the looks, the eyes. Just take all that in, and just marvel in the beauty. You know what I'm saying, of just this human being just sitting in front of you as this black skin, right? And until we can actually do this and be able to love each other in spite of, then we will always be the number one destruction of our own people. Because can't nobody destroy a voice that stands together, but they can always destroy a house that's divided.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Amen. That's right.
Yes, Marcus. So my question is, where do people go to find the evidence?
You can go, honestly, sometimes you got to go in the community where the crime happened at. A lot of times, just like in the Tony Cox case here in Pontiac, Michigan, where the officer shot and killed a young black brother unarmed 9 or 10 times. Then as he died, they still came over and stomped him out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go and get any testimonies or any. In fact, they was forcing people back in their house. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get any information from the community about what they saw happen. They just said, well, we thought he had a gun and he had his hand in the picture of a gun. No, you didn't shot him 9 times in the back. You know what I'm saying? That hurt. I'm trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? But they didn't ask nobody in the community. So sometimes you have to get somebody that's actually care to actually go in that community and hope that the officers didn't force people to turn over their video cams and just kept it, never put it in evidence, but just kept it so couldn't nobody ever go back and get it. But even with that being said, that's one way. Another way is going to the courts to get, to get those testimonies. Because a lot of times you file a motion for discovery and you want, everything that's in the process. You asking for your prosecutor file, everything in your file. And a lot of times they only turn over certain things, but you can actually have somebody go up there and specifically ask for the same stuff that's pertaining to your case. Must say preferably a lawyer, but somebody who has a power of attorney to be able to deal with those people on your behalf because you are incarcerated and you don't want them to give you a stone wall and say, well, this is an open case and we can't give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's another way of doing it. FOIA is another way, you know what I'm saying?
FOIA.
FOIA is another way. They do challenge FOIAs a lot, you know what I'm saying? Especially like when you suing the Department of Corrections, they'll say if we turn this over, it'll be a security threat. You know what I'm saying? This and that, and you can, unless you can prove that it has nothing to do with security, but everything to do with things that exonerate and or culprits, make them proves their guilt. You know what I mean? But then you might have to have a lawyer, somebody do that too. So usually it's like I said, FOIA, you know what I'm saying, investigation, whether it's friends, family, or private investigator, including a lawyer. And yeah, those are ways you can get your documents.
And how easy is it to do a FOIA, Marcus?
FOIA in prison, like if you're in prison, you can just go to the law library and get a FOIA printed off, and it's only $10. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be specific, fact specific of what you actually want to itemize list. I want this, that, because I need it for this, that, and just be specific and then put it in. You know what I'm saying? And they have a certain amount of time to get back to you. I know it's not really that long, but they have to get back to you. And sometimes, like I said, when you're dealing with the MDOC who don't never want to, you know what I'm saying, reveal what they're actually doing to you, they give you a lot of pushback and fight for it. But you know what I'm saying, you might have to get a private attorney or something like that to get it, or you can just go into the courts with a copy of the FOIA that you sent for them and saying, here, I'm asking for this information because it proves this, that, and the third, but they will not turn over to me. Then the courts will ask them to prove if it was a security threat or not, show where it would be, and they will determine if this is or not, and they can do it. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a process. It's not going to be that easy. It's a lot easier if a person wasn't incarcerated, even though you still had to jump through hoops and hurdles. But in order to make anything happen, you got to go through a process unless you can prove it's a life or death situation to where they have to act immediately. Um, yeah.
And so, Marcus, when people looking for their info for records and stuff, what are some of the things that people overlook?
Um, Overlook going back to the district court where they at, sending a motion to the district court to release their files. Um, Most people go back to the trial courts and stuff like that, but they don't go to the court that got the case bond over. So you might have the overview of just the transcripts of pretrial arraignments and stuff like that, but they also have notes and stuff that was included too that you can actually get from there. Like in my case, I asked them for the original search warrant that was sworn out and signed by the judge, and I had two different signatures. You know what I'm saying? And neither one of them actually matched the judge's signature. And I found a lot of cases just like that. So it was alleged that came out in the newspapers and in the news that perhaps the judge's signature was forged on my search warrant. But I would never have got that had I not written to the district court where it happened at.
Right. So before we move to the next section is so for everyday people that's listening, what would you tell them about being intimidated or whatever about finding their records
Um,
or getting the evidence?
I can't sugarcoat it, so I got to be honest with you.
Okay.
We all know that it's going to always be casualties of war, right? Sometimes you have to determine on how determined you are about seeking justice and seeking the truth. They would throw everything at you. You know what I'm saying? In prison, they put you in solitary confinement, harassment, stuff like that. In the streets before there, if it's something that might include officers, they might start harassing and stuff out there. Those things actually happen in real time in real life. But if you know that you're innocent and you know that you can prove these things, you have to make the determination on if you want to stand up and let your voice be heard, or do you want to shrink and allow it to happen to somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
You can stand for something or fall for anything, you know what I mean? But I chose to be a voice. I spent a lot of time in solitary confinement as a result. But I was able to accomplish something that I actually wanted to accomplish, which was proving that the inhumane treatment stuff that they did to me and others like me. I kept fighting while I was incarcerated, and I was able to prove that, you know what I'm saying, my conviction, I was wrongfully convicted. You know what I mean? And still fighting to get exonerated to this day. But I just know that it's not going to be an easy process. The master ain't going to give you the keys to his house.
Right.
So as long as you know that, then you just have to know that. I don't want to lie to you and say that stuff is going to happen overnight, because it's not. They easy to arrest and lock up, but slow to justice.
Yeah. So this is my question for you both. This is our new little thing that we do every week. I have a question and then you guys answer this one. Who needs to be held accountable this week? What systems or, whatever's going on currently? I'll start with you, Revity, and then we'll end it with Marcus. Who needs to be held accountable this week?
Ooh, so much accountability going on, or lack of it. It's difficult sometimes, and I'm going to say this because we really need to focus on what's going on within our communities, and then at the same time we have other situations going on outside of our communities and in other countries. And I am going to say, for the first time in my life, I have been affected by a war, having a best friend who was in Abu Dhabi. And through prayer and her ability to get to neighboring countries after traveling to 3 different countries. She was able to finally get back into the United States. Unfortunately, a lot of other people did not have that happen. And so when you hear the missiles personally while you're on the phone with the person, and are afraid, that did have an effect on me. And at the same time, I felt powerless. And I say that because sometimes you there's a feeling of powerlessness. I think this week, though, and this is what I'm saying, this is what I had to do with myself, we need to hold ourselves accountable. We need to hold ourselves accountable, because sometimes you get the feeling that, what can I do? And there are things that you can do personally. You need to strategize. You need to look at your life and see, where have I been following a habitual way of thinking, a habitual way of behaving, and what can I do to change that? Maybe it's that you don't read anything. Pick up a book, not just any book. Maybe it's that you're so easily entertained. Maybe you spend more time scrolling than you do researching to see what's really going on in your neighborhoods. Maybe you need to look at the educational system. Maybe you need to compare. What are we doing with education this year, and how has it declined through the years? Ask yourself important questions so that you can make changes. What are you doing? Are you saving to keep things balanced in your own home? Are you safeguarding your children? Ask yourselves these tough questions. Are you so busy trying to get out and about that you just allow your children to go to anybody? This week, hold yourself accountable. Do something different. Do something that's going to uplift you and give you the feeling that you are walking according to an ethical standard that is ingrained within you. And take your life back. You are not powerless. You are here for a purpose. And that purpose is happening right now.
Yes, Tia. Marcus, who you want to hold accountable this week?
Reverend Tia just took it out of my mouth. I was just going to say, but just to piggyback on it, I'm a firm believer, and it's a fact that, if you can't free your mind, you can never free your body, right? And freedom is ours as long as we claim it. Yeah. So, yes, I think I can say when it comes to safe and fair housing, how our community is being is being exploited and oppressed by the Pontiac Housing Commission, Amaya Taylor by name. I can say that we have a lot of other corrupt officials that's in our educational system in Pontiac, in our city council chambers, rather mayor office. I can say all those things, right? But then I got to look around at my people who give me reasons why they don't vote. Nobody give us a reason why they should. You know what I'm saying? Even after we had a lot of people that died to make sure that we had a voice in elections, and also to be able to follow up to make sure they are actually doing their job, working for us. So we are paying for them to be there to do it. So at the end of the day, I think we need to hold ourselves accountable. I think people who don't go out and vote but still cry when something happens at their doorstep, hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? People who are not sitting with our children or trying to build with our children and their own children, hold yourself accountable as a parent. Who are tired of the system and tired of or disgusted and disappointed that a child can't read and write at a certain age, still hold yourself accountable, because it's up to you as a parent to advocate for that child. Yeah. So And if you say you didn't know something, hold yourself accountable because you didn't try to figure it out. Or you didn't go ask the questions to talk to the right people, because there's information out here if you seek it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and some and Reverend T, I stand in solidarity with you, and I say, especially us as Black and brown people, hold yourself accountable, because you should already know by now. Ain't nobody coming to save you. It's just not.
Don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, now you know. You know what I mean? You went to both parties and nothing happened. Yeah, and
Right.
yet you still vote by loyalty to a party or whatever
Right.
the case may be, but yet you still starving like a motherfucker. So so hold yourself accountable. You definitely need to be held accountable. So that's all I have.
Y'all answered 2 questions in one. Y'all answered the action steps as well. So, so I just wanted to say, I want people to share this video, share the platform, subscribe, stay informed, read. And before we leave out tonight, I have a video, and I'm not going to play it all. I'm probably going to play a lot of it, but not all of it. But it's Crystal who is pleading to the governor, right? And so I want to play that tonight because Crystal is really suffering right now. I talk to her every day, 2-3 times. We was on, Crystal was calling. Crystal has, we talk about the mold on her coming out her ear, but the mold now has spread it all around her ears. Both of her ears are black. When she has a bowel movement, now she's bleeding. The headaches are not leaving. They took away the Benadryl, so she's literally scratching and itching and scratching all day from that. Her eyes are itching, her skin is itching. And so this is a video audio that was turned into a video that Crystal did this week, and it's to the governor of Michigan. So I'm going to play some of it. And then after that, we'll see you guys next week.
Woman, Ron Valley Facility. If you feel you're being victimized or this call is from a correctional facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. 3-way calls are strictly prohibited and a violation of MDOC policy. Thank you for using GTL.
Governor, this is Crystal Denise Clark. My MA number is 435064. I'm in WHV. Oh my God. Governor, you are very aware of what's going on. You receive over 90-some medical records from me and from others that have sent to you. Governor, I just want to ask you one thing. Why do you need a letter when you have the proof right there in front of you? You have the proof. I'm sick. The mold is affecting me every day. It's killing me. What do we need a letter when you got the proof? I just want to know, have you looked at the medical records in front of you? Have you went over them? Because have you went over them, you wouldn't need no letter. What about the people as recently, lawyers and people coming up here seeing it? And maybe you should put your eyes on it and come see it. Or maybe you should send somebody up here to see it. This is not right, the way I'm being treated. This is medical neglect all day. I need to get out this facility to get the best care. Not just one doctor, not 2 doctors, all the specialists. Even a doctor was in the facility said the same thing. You have his record too. What is it going to take, Governor? What is it going to take for me to lose my life? I'm asking you to go over the medical records that you received and read it. I'm asking that you look at the videos, everything that people send you. Look at it. Pay attention. I want you to treat me as if I was your child or you or your family. I don't want you to look at me because I would get the inmate estranged. I'm someone's loved one. I'm someone's family. Been going through this for 16 years now and been begging for help for all of you. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing. This is my life. This is my life I've been fighting for. I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat. And I'm pretty sure you know that. There's people leaving here every day. Every day. From you, the parole board. And no disrespect, did they need a letter? This is somebody that's really sick in this facility. I didn't come in here like this. I did not come in here like this. So I'm asking that you do the right thing. Not me. Please. I'm begging you. Please do the right thing. What is it gonna hurt for you to let me go to get to a hospital to get the right help? I don't even have that much time. Is it gonna hurt you to let me go? What is it gonna take for me to lose my life? Is that what, to me, it seems like that's what everybody wants. Because I don't understand how this is not being taken serious. It's just being swept on the rug. You said out your mouth, all Michigan people, we all matter, and you take it serious with medical, Medicaid and medical, and people that's sick. I haven't heard you say anything about the prison. Anything. We matter. What about our health? This is death care. This is not no safe medical. This is death care. They are killing us in here. So I'm asking that you take the time out. If you don't even want to look at the records, come see me for yourself. Come see it for yourself, because I know for a fact they're not giving you, the people in WHV not giving you the right information. Because if they was, you would have been letting me go. I wouldn't be sitting here suffering like this, and begging and crying and pain every day, sleeping, sitting up, can't breathe. Governor, is so much more, and you very aware of it. And I'm asking that you do the right thing. I'm begging and pleading that you do the right thing. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I don't understand how a human being can let somebody sit here and suffer like this. And go through what they're going through and know about it and not do anything. Somebody that we look up to. Somebody that's supposed to be leaders. Supposed to be doing something about this, and nothing has been done. If something would have been done, I would be crying out for help. They could have been helping before it got like this. I don't know how everybody fought me for speaking out and fight for my help and my life and my freedom. I don't understand that I'm an innocent woman. I don't understand how I'm being blamed for fighting and speaking out. I wouldn't have to do all this because I was asking and fighting for help inside before it got outside. All they had to do is do the right thing inside, and it didn't even have to go this far. They took an oath. They are doctors and nurses. The word on the facility supposed to care. Miss Washington supposed to care. You supposed to care. Even the state reps, all of you supposed to care. Why don't y'all do something about this? Why don't y'all do something about this? Y'all, a lot of y'all see this for yourselves and choose to be silent. Why? Don't treat me as I'm a prisoner. Look at me as you or your loved one. Why are y'all not doing nothing? A job should not be important in somebody's life. Because if it was me and I was on the other side, I had to help you, I'd do anything I can. I would do my job to make sure your life is safe and y'all okay. Or your loved ones. I don't understand. I can still understand it. Every day is a struggle. I try to put a smile on my face to cover up the pain, the hurt, and the way I'm being treated. every day. So, Governor, please do the right thing. Just to go over the paperwork. It's coming from me. I know you don't know me, but this is serious. This is real. Come see me for yourself. Take the time out and come see me for yourself. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm just tired every day. It's the struggler. I'm so tired of being in pain. I'm so tired I can't breathe. I'm so tired when I sit on the toilet. It's so pain when I even try to make it. Even try to pee, I'm pain, blood. I'm just in so much pain. I'm tired. I've got a dig in my skin because the doctor refused to give me anything. I'm tired of the headaches. I'm tired of the ringing. I can't hear my ears barely. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of sleeping sitting up. I'm tired of it. I shouldn't have to put a smile on my face to cover up the pain. My body is like it's about to give up at any day. I'm praying to God that I don't lose my life. I'm tired of it. My hair is just falling out. I'm losing weight. There's so much more, y'all. There's so much more. I'm tired. So I'm asking you, please. Please help me. Please. You gotta go see the specialist every month, and they saying the exact same thing. I have to get out of here if I heal. I'm not gonna heal. I'm tired of taking all this medicine and still sending it. What's affecting me? I'm allergic to it. Please take the time and go over the record. I'm asking you to do something at least. Please do not take this the wrong way. But you, the governor of Michigan, you supposed to do. You supposed to care. You supposed to care. In my heart, I just want to let you know, no disrespect, you should have been doing something about this. You should have been doing something about this. And now you want a letter. What kind of games is being played with my life? What kind of games is being played? This hurt my heart. This hurt. Coming from you. When you took in that office, we was so happy and excited that you was going to do something to help. Nothing has been done. We are hurting here. It's innocent people in here. They count on you and look up to you all. Nothing is done. Nothing. Nothing is done for us. I don't even know what to say no more. But I'm asking that you do the right thing. I'm asking that you do the right thing. Show the world that you care at least. Show the world that you're looking into this. Show the world that you can save a life and you want to save a life and you do save a life. Show the people out there that you're the governor of Michigan that you will save Christmas Denise Clark's life. That you will free her. That she will go to the hospital before it's too late. That she will reunite her family, her grandkids that she never met. Show the world that you care, all of you. Show them. You have the power to do it. And I'm begging you to do it. I don't even have that much time. There should not be no excuse when people go on every day. Every day. Every day in my face from you. So we can say, may God bless you and your family, and I'm hoping that you do the right thing. This is Pursuit Denise Clark. I'm in WAC, the Valley of Death, and I'm looking for that the governor of Michigan do the right thing. I gotta myself for trying to, because we made to be liars and crazy every day. This is not fair. They got proof and they see it. You gotta beg for help. You gotta beg for somebody. This is just, I don't even know. This is just so shame and disgusting. You have to beg for your life. You have to beg for help. And still don't get it. You still don't get help. These people should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. But I bet you what, they will let their loved ones go through what I've been through in us. They'll do everything they can to save them, and they wouldn't even have to went through it probably for a day or two. They would have got them out of there. They would have released their own family. But when it comes to somebody else's family, we sit and suffer and die. Everybody can't do something. I'm asking that you all do something before it's too late. I want to hug my mama. I want to hug my kids, my grandparents. I want to hug my sisters and brothers. Be around people that love me and care.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Sad and suffering and pain. I'm so sad. You don't know. On your last day, you struggling and fighting and begging and pleading for help. No one hear you. It's just being up ignored, swept under the rug. It don't have to be like this. Don't. You got the power. Use your power to change this. It should have been done a long time ago. You know my family going through. You know my mother going through everything. Oh, my kids. Look at them. And what you gonna tell them? Your mother is dead. She's gone. Well, you could have saved her. Is that what you're gonna tell my kids? Shame on all of you.
Thank you for using GTL.
Light up, just a light of mine. I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Just a light of mine. Just a light of mine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gon' let it shine. I'm gon' let it shine. Oh Lord, just let it shine. This light of mine, this light of mine. Oh Lord, would you please just let it shine. Take the drama out of my life. Oh Lord, every night the pain ain't right. I wake up at night, I never sleep. 26, 10, and 7, that's just me. Every day I need a little seed. I need a little fresh air, man, I need to breathe. All I know is trauma, all I know is tickets. All I know is no visit. All I know is a mission to get straight up out of prison. Lord have mercy for me. Lord have mercy on my people. Preacher Mary Washington and all my real. Lord have mercy with my people. I pray to God, we really need you. When I was down bad, when things weren't going right, every time I prayed at night, I put my hands up in my face. I said, Lord have mercy, little light of mine. Lord God, please let it shine. It's the drama that I live in my life. I swear to God, I was a bad guy every night. 10 toes down, salute. Everybody suffering, everybody trying to make a way. Everybody looking for the sky, everybody looking for that piece of pie. In a law library, I know what that feel like. Hoping that somebody get active and involved in your situation. Man, pop your collar and pray. Cause Lord have mercy on my soul. And they make bad guy father get out soon. And the rest of those brothers who be mobbing. your child each morning. Oh man, I ain't going to this afternoon. Man, I'ma miss dinner today. I got a cup of noodles. You know what that feel like? Do you know what it is? And if you a victim of a wrongful conviction, suffered and served by Ken Worthy, then I know that you know what that pain feel like. And your mama know what that pain feel like. Your father know what that pain feel like. With that light, let that little shine. Let that light shine a little light of mine. Bad guy, Doughboy Week, all these great people in this great world of ours. 10 toes down, salute. I appreciate you, bad guy. I appreciate you, Week. I appreciate the tech. I appreciate everybody in the studio. We gonna pop off that LV, ooh-wee, cause that's what they be liking to see. But I hope you hear the missing when you see me fresh. Salute.